Well, hello everyone. Here we are on our 6th episode of The Bearded Respect, and I am Scott, and this is
Jason.
And welcome to The Bearded Respect. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to The Bearded Respect, and we have a good show for you today with a great guest. We have the CEO of Brio Products Group, Eric Steckling, join us shortly. And we'll just say hi to everyone. Hi, Ellie. Russ Young here.
Russ.
My sweetheart, Ms. Bruce City.
Becky. Steven.
And Nick H. I'm sure more will join us as the show is going on. Ray. Smelly Turtle.
Hey, Ray.
Thanks, Russ, for the intro. And hit that like button if you get a chance.
Yep.
Okay, and we will bring our guest in here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to The Bearded Respect.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I guess you would be our first, I would consider, big guest.
Oh, I don't know. I don't need to go there. Happy to join.
Yeah. When Scott told me that he got you as a guest, I was like, oh, okay. But I was told you put your pants on the same as I do, so.
That's correct. We all the same problems.
So I guess we'll start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself. You know, a little bit of your background, a little bit of your family, or however
Sure.
much you want to tell us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this could take a while, so I'll keep it high level and let you guys can dig in wherever you feel like there's something there. But I just turned 40, so I guess that's something to start with. I've been doing this, with Brio. It's been about 7 years now, so feel like I'm in a good spot with that. Previously, I did have sort of a corporate career, sitting in a cubicle, getting baked by fluorescent lights from above. So I went through that experience, and kind of always knew I wanted to do my own thing, but didn't know exactly what that was for a while. So I think that seems to be normal. But yeah, anyway, so I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I've actually lived in Michigan my whole life. which I don't know if that's strange or not, but that's just what it is. um, so I've got three boys, 10, 8, and 6. The middle one who was in here earlier just turned 8 today. So yeah, they may be making an appearance. There's no guarantees here. So
Oh, that's fine.
um,
And my girlfriend just wanted to wish you a happy birthday anyway.
oh, right on. I'm sure you'll have a chance. He'll make an appearance. So yeah, that's a quick version. I can go into detail on anything you guys feel interesting.
Um, so you say you started out basically in the cubicles, working in a corporate lifestyle, basically.
Yeah.
Um, so what led you to uh, move ahead with a company like Brio?
Yeah. So, for me, like I was telling you guys earlier, I've always been into building things and making things. I'm definitely coming at this from a very kind of product focused perspective. So, I've always been a real picky consumer. One to really dig in and do a lot of research on anything I'm buying, and then being sort of critical of the product. Um, so where Brio got started was actually with our Sonic toothbrush. And I know that sounds a little weird that I was like that into that product. But I was. It was, for me, it was one of those things where, I think I started using Sonic brush, I don't know, maybe I was 20 years old or something. And it's one of those things where once I started using it, I was like, I don't know how everyone's not doing this. It seemed to me like everyone brushes their teeth, and this is something that can benefit basically everyone. So, at the time, I think my very first one was from a company that no longer exists. And then after that, what I saw in the market, I just saw some room for some improvements. Just in terms of battery life. I think like the variety and iterating on brush heads, and then like of course cost of brush heads I think was always a big deterrent for that category. It's just
Yeah.
they were even today the main brands, they're too expensive on the replacement heads, and you have to make this decision, like do you just bite the bullet and pay that, or do you go looking on Amazon for generics, and which can be an okay experience. It can also be bad. There's bad ones
Mhm.
out there. There's some good ones out there too. Um, so that was really the goal with Brio, is starting with that product, not really necessarily having a broader vision for like where is this going, as a company, as a brand. I think I'm finally figuring out that that's pretty common. That most companies kind of start like that. Like you don't necessarily have this grand vision of where it's going, what you're doing. But yeah, so that's where we got started. And the beardscape and the trimmer line, which has been pretty important for us in the following years. That really just came out of just personal need and seeing in the market like how many bad trimmers there are out there. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I've got a loud one behind me. I don't know if you can hear
It's okay.
this,
We
but
have we have families. We understand.
yeah, yeah, I think there might be some kind of brother battle going on. So anyway, yeah. So with the beardscape, I mean, I've owned a number of bad trimmers, and that was totally the motivation to making a better one. For me, looking at it, there were companies that had good blades, some companies that did okay with the other parts of it, guards and whatnot, but no one would really put it all together. And overall, the market was just really focused, I felt like, on the low end. Like everyone's trying to make a trimmer and sell it for $30, and they're
Yeah.
cut corners, and so that's where I like wasn't really concerned about hitting a low price point. But it has to be reasonable. Obviously, the value has to be there. So um, anyway, yeah. So that's kind of how we got there, and of course now we continue to expand in terms of product line. That's that's one thing that's definitely been a big focus for us in the last like 6 to 8 months, is thinking about product line expansion. So maybe I can show you some prototypes and some things we're working on. I've got a couple things on the shelf, but yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of next, important steps for us. I think you guys probably already know that we do have a new version of the Beardscape coming out. Um,
Yeah.
so that's real soon. His international shipping has been a nightmare for the last year or so. I feel like it's funny because this is something that like even everyday consumers are starting to know and understand, like all these
Mhm.
kind of supply chain things that are piling up.
Yeah.
So
And we
Yeah.
have another Brio affiliate here joined us, Ryan,
here
who I believe is excited for the new version of the Beardscape as well.
awesome. Yeah, it's been
But speaking of expanding your product line, that brings up a question I had. Uh, Kind of good segue into it. Have you, which this might be on your shelf over there, I don't know, but have you thought about coming out with a shaver similar to the Freedom or the Skull Shaver?
yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me grab something here.
Okay.
So, we we always like to 3D print things. We went through a bit of iterations on this one. I don't know how well you can see this. My lighting is not very good. Oop, I'm going the wrong way here. Um, yeah, so yes, this is something that we are hoping to have done this year. We are currently in the process of like we're actually still sort of in the design phase, not ready to start cutting tooling yet, but probably within the next month we'll start making tooling for this. Um, but yeah, it's been something that's popped up. We've been back and forth on like priority, but you'd mentioned the head shavers, and that's something that's really we've been aware that like it's something our audience is kind of asking for. Um, Especially with this specific design, being able to really hold it and operate it in a way that's makes it easier to shave your head. So the cool thing about something like with this design is it is pretty versatile. So we can make a version for the ladies as well. And even if you're not shaving your head, with this design, we feel like it's still would work for face or wherever else. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jason's asking because he just recently shaved his head, and then he's been questioning about purchasing one.
yep.
And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
told him how good the trimmer is.
Yeah. I mean, I actually shaved this morning. It was about 6 o'clock this morning. I actually shaved, and I can already feel stubble. And I know by talking to others that have a skull shaver, the pit bull, that it will not get as close as a razor. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm thinking if, you know, within a day's time, if I'm already feeling stubble, I'm willing to live with a shaver that's going to leave a little bit because I'm going to get the stubble anyway. So
Yeah.
at least with the razor, the shaver, I could probably do it every 2 days. Like now, when I use a regular razor, I do it about twice a week. I just don't want to do it that often and take a chance of rash and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm
that's 100% the dilemma.
yeah,
It's even if shaving's the best and that look you're going for, it's not super convenient. So, we kind of view it as a couple levels. So yeah, shaving with a blade it's always going to be closer than pretty much any electric razor is going to get. This style is referred to as a rotary shaver.
Hmm.
We are also working on a foil shaver. I don't know if I have a prototype in my basement. I don't have it here. Um, they get pretty close, but you're right. I mean, not as close as a blade. The next option up in terms of convenience, but not quite as close as this, would be going to the zero blade, which
Yeah.
a lot of people do for their head. It's close, but it's definitely not shaven. It's just also a lot easier. So it's kind of like figuring out the right routine for you and how often you want to do it and what look is best.
Yeah, I think if I can do a daily or a once every 2 day, shave with a electric shaver, and then just on a special occasion, maybe a couple times a month or something, actually shave my head. That would save so much time, and because really, even though I got stubble, you can't see it. It still looks shiny and bald,
Yep.
So yeah, I'm really leaning towards getting one. So maybe I'll just wait till you launch yours then.
Yeah, we are planning on about I want to say October is our planned launch. So it's longer than we want. I was talking with Tori the other day, as our director of operations, and also my probably the only other person I would say internally that's deals with like conceptualizing our product development. Um, we were both saying like this is a lot longer than we want. However, we'd rather have it be realistic than
Hmm.
shorter time frame, but then keep missing. So that's where we're at.
You also want to make sure you got the best product when it hits the market.
That is really the goal too. That's You're right. I mean that is really super important, and that's why like we're not ready to cut tooling yet because once you do that, you're done with changes. You guys know that pretty
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So um, that's where we're going right now in this process of building a mock-up. Um, so actually the first round was in the industrial design round where we came up with three or four concepts, printed them out, held them, and said, okay, how does this feel? How is this going to work? And that's super helpful to be, because like visually, there's always a couple that pop out. You're like, this shape looks good, but it's crazy. You kind of have to hold this stuff
Yeah.
before you're really confident to say, yeah, that's
Hmm.
what we're going with.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, speaking of, you know, your release date being further out than you'd like, uh, but again, talking about just the logistics of everything. Now, what about even for your toothbrushes, the beardscape, all your? Do you make all your parts, or some parts subcontracted? But
Yeah, so we have partner factories that we rely on
okay,
that do a fair bit of the engineering. Um, we don't have to come to them with all the details. For example, we were back and forth with the manufacturer on how this blade attaches. It's removable, so we were looking at the locking mechanism, and we're able to rely on their engineers to work on a lot of those problems. I mean, obviously we have feedback and oversight over the whole process, but we're not the ones doing the CAD, because what we found with working with a lot of these factories is when they're the ones responsible for a lot of the heavy lifting on the manufacturing side, they prefer to be, you know, to,
Hmm.
to to be made, involved in more or less making a lot of those decisions. So, um, but yeah, we still do have full control over everything we're doing and the components that are in there. Um, we do rely on their opinions on supply, battery suppliers, for example, circuit board suppliers. Um, but ultimately, we get to touch all of that, and And that's the crazy thing. End to end, what we do, we end up doing a lot of different tasks. Like, I think I'm lucky having at least a manufacturing background or at least manufacturing mindset because that's where I started, and what I've had to learn is more of the marketing, and the e-commerce
Right.
stuff, which I kind of think is easier to learn than understanding what's a gasket. You know, like if you don't know really simple things about how things go together, or like the basics of injection molding, you're gonna run into some blind spots and you're gonna make some like costly mistakes. So
Right.
And that's where I see your point of if you have a if you're subbing out some of your parts where they're the ones that have to manufacture it, so they would like to be the ones that design it so that it's easiest for them to manufacture it in a mass production type manner. Otherwise, you could design something and it would just be darn near impossible to actually build. But yet with them, but like you said, you have the final say. So if they come say, "Hey, we can make this like this," and you say, "No, I, I'll give some, I'll be a little lenient on this part of it, but I still want this. Can you at least bump it up to this?" So yeah, I get what you're saying. You gotta,
yeah, it is a back and forth.
yeah,
In good, I think good industrial designers help out a lot, um, because it is completely possible to design something that could never really be made, or would have
yeah,
a lot of other problems that you wouldn't have thought about when it's a 3D model or drawing, because like that's just how it goes. We've been told no a fair amount when it comes to like features and things we want to do. So I get it because you can have ideas, but you got to be able to make it, and then the product that you make it into, it has to be reliable. It can't, it's really easy to design a weak point or a flaw into something without really thinking about it. And
yeah,
and sometimes they don't show up, until you use something for 6 months, and then
Right.
everything and the same part and everything starts failing, and then that's not a good place to be.
yeah.
No, but I know on the Beardscape you guys have done an exceptional job. Very
Thank
impressed with the battery. The I've charged it I think twice since I've had it. Over a year. Um, and I just like the adjusting on it. I got the zero blade. I actually use that tonight on my cheeks, and it does a
Nice.
real good job. I was entirely impressed with it.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad it's working out for you. It's always good to hear that that the goal was, at least achieved a little bit.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of the guys in the bearded community who swear by the Brio trimmers. So
No, it's
it's
Yeah, we
great.
we appreciate that for sure.
Are there a lot of upgrades on the new version?
Yeah, so I can tell you about that. So not huge upgrades. So it's gonna be the same blade assembly. So we're not all the guards and the zero blade and everything's backward compatible. So like we didn't want to change any of that. What we did upgrade was we added a travel lock, which
Mm.
to me felt pretty basic. Anything with a battery and a motor and a button should probably have a travel lock on it.
Yeah.
Um, just like our same thought, like anything with a battery and a motor should also have a battery meter on it. Like
Mm,
you have to know where the battery is. So it's been one of those like core things that we like make sure got to have that. Um, so the other upgrades are the screen. We put a really cool screen on this. Um, It's, so we're able to kind of display the battery meter in different ways. We've got alerts for oiling the blade and better alerts for recharging the battery on that screen. And it also displays the micro adjustment position. So, on the current trimmer, you kind of see it on the plastic part
Mm-hmm.
up by the lever. It'll also display that on the screen, which is kind of a cool upgrade. And then we totally updated the outer shell. So it's got a little bit different shape, and it has some better grip elements on the side. So
Cool.
yeah, so that's the most of it. We were back and forth a bit on the guard attachments. It's one of those things we probably had the most customer feedback on the guard attachments. People saying, "Oh, it's a little difficult." Um, for us, this was the dilemma, and this is like going back to one of those design, engineering, and manufacturing things. But right now we have reversible guards, and because of that, they basically you basically have to snap it on. So
Mm-hmm.
I like line up the front of the blade and then push down, it locks on. It would be theoretically easier if you could slide the guard over the front of the blade,
Right.
but we lose the reversible guards. That wouldn't be possible. So you then end up with basically twice as many pieces of plastic floating around in your drawer, which
Yeah.
we didn't feel like that was the right compromise. So we left the reversible guards and kept that assembly the same.
I've noticed it was harder when I first started putting the guards on, but after you put them on a few times, it gets easier.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just a little bit of a learning curve, but we feel like that's worth it. It's better that way.
Yeah. Seems to work well. Also, with the blade assembly, the first time I took it out, it seemed to be real hard to come out, and I
Yep.
felt like I was going to break it. But then after a few times, it comes out like real easy now.
Yep. Yep. And it's a lot of it is practice too. Knowing to lower the blade height all the way down makes
Mm-hmm.
it so much easier to put it back on. That's the first thing we tell everyone is just lower that button down and it'll snap in a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Say hi to Cribs. Um. So, what makes it you won't find Brio in your local store. Um, how do you get enough word of mouth or advertisement out there that people will come looking towards your site or whatever
yeah.
nowadays?
So that is the challenge, right? That is it ends up being a big part of my job and day and consideration because that's something we have to think about. But I was just hoping you guys would do it for me.
I
Let-
I'll get it, do it every chance I get because it's a good product and I believe in it.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate that. But yeah, so joking aside, it's that's definitely consideration because we're a bootstrapped, self-funded company, and we've always had to be careful about where and how that marketing money is spent because it's certainly limited. Um, but yeah, I think that is kind of one of the funner parts of this is like there's so many ways to get the word out, and one thing that we're really focused on right now is creating our own content. We've in the past we've kind of relied on other people, influencers, affiliates, to help us with that in terms of
Mm-hmm.
making videos about the product, doing great videos like for example how to trim your beard. Um, but now we're really focused on doing a lot more of those in house and having those on our own kind of social channels and building up, doing more writing, having more blogs, and basically using that, trying to essentially answer questions, and use that as sort of a strategy to bring more people in. Um, so that's definitely a part of it. It's hard to get away from ads completely. I don't personally like Facebook much for anything. I've never been a Facebook user. We do run ads there. We did a lot last year, and we've really scaled back on that. But there's kind of some basic, retargeting stuff that you kind of just have to do. So that's a part. Email and SMS has been a bigger part for us. And
Mm-hmm.
again, like that goes back to the content. I want to make our emails better. They could be better. So, I think like anything, it takes a certain bit of focus and effort to do it. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of pieces to it. We do get a lot of our traffic from YouTube. So, over time, kind of just having various videos out there from a whole bunch of different people, that's kind of been a good source for us. And as a brand, we've always done better with people who are actually doing product research. So if you're taking the time to look at what trimmer or what sonic brush to buy, that's where we're going to be showing up in articles and reviews, and it just makes it easier for people to find us.
I mean, kind of speaking of marketing and not being in a big box store, is that something that you have considered trying to get in to a chain store at some point, or do you prefer to stay like an online company?
Yeah, so over the years, we have kind of considered it. And to be honest, this is kind of what I've come to. I think we're way better off focused on being direct to consumer because we ultimately like have the full control over that relationship with our customers. I think going back to being a picky consumer, um, I think one of the reasons why major brands have really bad customer service is because they completely forget who their customers are.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like so, if you're Philips, your customer is Target, your customer is Walmart and Costco. That's where you're selling your product. You don't care about the person who's using it. And I think that mindset and that mentality that these businesses get into is the main reason why they don't think that customer service is important. And I don't feel any need to do that, to follow in those steps. I think there's plenty of room, honestly, for us to grow being direct to consumer. So at this point, I just really don't see any advantage to working someone in the middle. Because ultimately, I don't know if they're pulling our product off a shelf just because it's there, in front of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
maybe to some extent, but I'm just not the direction that I want to go at this point.
Yeah. My only feedback would be that I never even knew about Brio until I joined the beard community.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we need to get better at that, right? Um, there's a lot of other companies that sell trimmers out there that you'll see spending a ton of money in advertising everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
which is tough to compete with from an awareness standpoint. I hope to do better at that though. I think there's a lot of room for us to create more content, be visible in more channels.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're back.
So I would turn into a spinning wheel for a second there. Uh, no, just um, that idea of people reaching out to us. They're like, I really wish I knew about you before. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Oh, I know I've bought tons of trimmers over the years, and I this is the first one I think I've actually been happy with, and it's great to know that if the blade wears out, I don't have to throw it away and get a brand new trimmer. I can just get a new blade assembly.
Yep. Yeah. Super important for sure.
Yeah. We
Uh,
had a question here. Has Brio ever taken on investors?
We have not. No, we are self-funded. We started in 2014 with zero revenue, and I worked for free for a lot of years. So that's kind of the unsexy thing that people don't get to hear about very very much. Um, but yeah, that's we haven't really had to take on investors, so we just haven't gone there yet. Not I wouldn't say we won't ever, but it's kind of where we are.
Okay.
Nice.
Um,
Uh,
so what made you expand your line to include like the women's line?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think like and this might sound weird, but we never really set out to necessarily be a beard company or even a male focused company. But I can tell you right now, I mean, our customer base is largely male. And mostly because of the beardscape. I mean, with the toothbrush, obviously we have a much more diverse customer base
yeah.
with that, both genders and age ranges and everything. But yeah, so the goal really is to be next level grooming products, and
Mm-hmm.
we think that can span genders.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it just gives you more of the population to work with. You're not just geared towards men.
Yeah, and the lines get blurry, to be honest. Like when I was talking about this product, for example, hair is hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's companies that'll tell you that a woman's hair is different, but it's not. It shaves the same way. We are launching a hair dryer probably in the next 6 months. That's in a similar phase as this shaver is, but it's moving process is moving a little faster on that one. So I think we'll have it earlier. Again, the same sort of design rigor going into that with testing and iterations. But a hair dryer is very, very gender neutral.
Yeah.
It's going to be just as good for long hair blowouts as it is drying your beard. So we're just product focused. So it's feel like that can just span the genders.
And that will be a wireless one?
It will not. No,
Okay.
that's funny though that you say that, because we've had discussions internally about that, and there is a company that makes a wireless or cordless hair dryer, and it really goes back to that core question of designing something that's impossible to build. Now, when it comes to wind and moving air, totally possible to do cordless with a battery, not a problem. Big problem with designing a cordless hair dryer is heat.
Yeah.
When it comes to electricity, you're using electrical resistance to create essentially a red hot wire. Not something that's really feasible to do with a battery. Now, there is a company that tried, and I can't remember who they are. I've seen it. I should probably buy one of their hair dryers just to like test it out. But my guess would be it would be very, very disappointing from a functionality standpoint. So we didn't even go there. We're like, batteries aren't there yet. We're not going to design some type of like butane fired,
Yeah.
Right.
like,
Yep.
because theoretically you can solve that problem with compressed gas, but again, like, not worth it. Just not worth it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. I was just asking because me and Jason had a discussion last night about that.
Mhm.
yeah. Do you guys use hair dryers to style your beards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I have the issue here at home. We live in an older house, and we actually don't have an outlet in our bathroom. So if we use the hair dryer, we have to go to a different room to use. But
Yeah.
we're looking at getting an electrician to fix that problem later this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Most hairdryer cords are super long, by the way. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think probably because of that problem. I think there's a lot of people who don't necessarily have that outlet right where it needs to be.
Hmm.
Um, one of the interesting things we chose to do with ours was make the cord detachable.
Hmm.
So we did this for
Okay.
really two reasons. One is storage and travel. Wrapping a cord around the hair dryer is can be cumbersome. It can be awkward. So having the ability to attach it and then coil it nicely and kind of pack that makes it, I think, a little bit easier. The other is that we can sell different length cords. So I think it'll come with the standard 8 footer, and then we haven't really decided like, are we going to include a smaller one? Is it separate or whatever? But like for people who do have that outlet right there, you don't want an 8 foot cord if you're
Yeah.
2 feet from the wall. So having that flexibility for us was kind of a cool feature. No one else has really done that, so um, that was one of the things we built in there.
Yeah, that long cord, it always gets caught up in your cupboard handles or your drawer
Yes.
handles or something. You're always fighting it. And yeah, I was going to ask about the cord if you had thought about a retractable cord because
Yeah,
we
we
did.
didn't want to do so. Our hair dryer is actually extremely small.
Okay,
It's brushless motor, sort of narrow barrel, really designed to be a very lightweight, smaller unit. So fitting in
nice.
retractable cord situation wasn't going to be the best for this design.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Definitely. Those
So
those both sound like to be great additions to your product line.
yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think it's important for us to keep at it. I think product development for me is one of the very fun things to do. Um, it can get a little pricey with tooling and all that, but I think that's something that will definitely keep our foot on the gas with this, and we want to keep coming up with new stuff that's it's got to be useful too. I've always had this mindset that if someone's making something that's like already really really good, then we don't need to come in and make another version of it. Like
Yeah,
I think that makes it a little bit harder for us because we've been selective in saying like we're only going to do this if we think we can do it better.
Hmm.
So that's kind of been part of what we're doing.
And I
now
believe you hit that mark on the beardscape.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And I'll definitely in the future be looking at purchasing other products of yours as well.
Awesome, appreciate
And
that.
and there was a guy here we call Swag. He's actually looking at the electric toothbrush, and we'll be ordering it soon,
Awesome,
so he can put it next to his Brio trimmer.
perfect. Yep. Yeah,
now
they go well in the bathroom together.
now
Yeah.
I was on your website trying to brush up on a little bit, and I come across the article that was about using, pretty much to put it in layman's terms, using the same trimmer to trim any body hair you want to. Because
Yep, that's a safe way to say that. Touching point.
I, I mean, to not look it back up and read it word for word, but yeah, there's been tests done where if you want to trim other hair and your beard, there's no fear of the germs and that thing. So I found that article interesting.
Yeah, it's a largely an emotional thing, and some people really care about it. Some people are like, no, I would never do that. Other people, like me, I'm kind of like, well, there's really no downside. It's like whenever you're done trimming, whatever you're trimming, clean your trimmer off.
Hmm.
Tap it in the sink, brush the hairs off, you're good to go.
Yeah.
What we tell people, like, if you look at a barber, barbers use the same clippers on everyone that comes in.
Yep.
Um, you can sanitize the blade. Since the blade comes off, you can pop it off, throw it in some barbicide. Um, the CDC, their sanitation protocol is just a couple drops of bleach in a cup of water, and that will make a sanitizing solution. So you can do it at home if you want. But the reality is there's absolutely no need to do that because you're not you're not really transferring any bad bacteria, right? There's
Yeah.
when we talk about like our skin biome. I mean, we have millions and millions of bacteria on every inch of our body, and a lot of it is beneficial. Um, it keeps other bacteria out. It protects our skin in a lot of different ways. So it's a lot of people say bacteria and think it's a bad thing, but if you've ever taken too many antibiotics or you know had some gut issues that have affected that bacteria, then you will very quickly realize that it's a good thing to have those guys in there. Um,
Yep.
we can't even digest food without bacteria. So,
Right.
um, yeah, it's not as simple as, oh, that's dirty or that's not sanitary, because that part is just not true. If you're talking about avoiding a bad outcome from trimming, it's about not getting any nicks or cuts. When you look at people
Right.
who have a lot of trouble with things like razor burn, um, that's coming from like these micro tears in your skin, letting the bacteria in. Um, so don't cut yourself, and you won't have any problems.
Definitely.
Yep.
Now, I I got to put this out there. I want a trimmer, and it's not a Brio, and it was better than what I had, an old corded. You know, at least this has a ceramic head on it, and the other one I had just had a steel, two pieces of steel, and but just with talking with Scott last night and him showing me his even through the screen here and showing me the features with the adjustment in the blade itself and the variable speed, and I I'm glad I won this trimmer, that I'm not out any money, because now I want to go buy one of yours. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But I think I'll wait till the next version comes now, though, since
Yep.
it's speaking of that, can you give a release date on that or not yet?
Yeah, so we were talking about that today. I think it's going to be the end of April. So about 6 weeks, I think, is what we're looking at.
Okay.
Yep. So, further out than I'd like, but it's within sight at this point.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah.
that's good. And we've been definitely having some inventory issues. We were good on inventory for a long time. Like, we've kind of made it through the pandemic without really having problems, but right now we are out of most of our most popular stuff right now. So it's going to be tough for until we can get that stuff unloaded.
And I just saw an ad for if you buy one, you get a free Zero blade.
We do have that promotion going on. Yep. Yep. And you have to use that link too. For anyone who's looking, it's a specific promotion. I might, if you give me a moment, I might be able to share a link with your audience
Hmm.
if you guys want that.
Sure.
So I also hear you guys are into dad jokes.
Yes. Yes.
The other thing. You guys been watching the Olympics at all?
Some.
I haven't. I was flipping through the channels the other day, and single bobsledding was on, so I watched a little bit of that. But
It's
yeah,
tough. Some of the sports can be pretty obscure, you know. Like the only time you see them is like those, the Olympics.
yeah.
Um, anyway, you guys hear about that North Korean pole vaulter? This guy,
No.
he won the national championship in North Korea. Now he's the South Korean champion. Trying to work these dad jokes without telling you they're coming.
Well, I had prepared one here. Two cannibals are eating a clown, and one says to the other, "Does this taste funny to you?"
That works.
Let's see. What do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? They're both parasites. Parasites.
Oh.
Boy.
Yeah, normally every other week we have just like a community chat, and we'll put out like a dad joke challenge and have a giveaway for whoever comes up with the best joke.
Right on. Well, you have some coming in the comments here.
I haven't seen any yet.
No.
All right, I found this listing. Is there a place I can paste it in here?
Do you see the comments on the side?
Oh, yeah, there it goes. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so that's the one with that has the free zero blade.
And
Oh, okay. He sent it to the private chat, Scott.
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right, so how about this? Accidentally swallowed a whole bunch of Scrabble tiles today, so the next trip to the bathroom could spell disaster.
Oh,
That's a good one.
You never know what it's going to spell.
from our buddy Ray's daughter, why did the cow cross the road? To get to the movies.
Movies.
So, it's a big thing in our beard community. I don't know if you actually use beard products or not.
So I haven't had a long beard for about a year and a half. I'm kind of I feel like I change up the style a bit. I have trouble having like a big beard in the summer for some reason. I think it's a mental block for me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Something with the beach. I don't know. But I've been doing the mustache thing a little bit here. Every now and then you use some wax in that. I've on and off had experience with a bunch of different beard products.
Well, we always ask what everybody has in beard. Just what company we put in beard for the night. So tonight was one of our friends' collabs, which is called Caps Lock, because whenever he's in chats, he's famous for putting everything always in capital letters. And it's like a nice cool water aqua de Geo scent.
Right on. Yeah, my beard cabinet or beard product cabinet's looking pretty thin these days. You know, I think in the past it's been Beard Brand, Live Bearded, and of course Detroit Grooming.
Yeah.
For those three, I haven't really ventured out. I know there's so many out there, and so many good ones. So I know you guys keep tabs on all that.
Yeah, and we actually talk about it quite a bit. It's kind of part of our show,
Yep.
but when you keep it shorter like you, it's probably, until you get to that itching stage, it's probably not a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I found too. Well, and also, even without the itching, keeping it under control and shaped. For me, that was the hardest part. I'd have some curls in certain spots that would be a challenge. That's, I think, the product really helps with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dry skin, I know when I used to keep mine short, especially in the winter time, I would get the beard dandruff all the time, you know. So
Oh yeah,
even just a little bit of oil, it fixed that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually how I became a part of this community, was trying to get rid of that beard ruff, and it introduced me to a whole lot of great guys, a great community. They're all positive. Some of the streams do a bunch of fundraisers for certain people in the community, or just certain medical conditions and stuff.
Yeah,
So it's a pretty interesting place.
for sure. Yeah, I've had a little experience with a couple other streamers, and been friends with a lot of the guys for a while. So I've had a little bit of the outsiders feel, I guess, because I'm not really sporting the the big beard. It's all good.
Well, it looked pretty decent in the picture on the website.
Oh yeah, yeah, that got me.
One of our guys says here, "Let it grow. Heat will help the curls. I have plenty of them."
Yeah, and the other thing is, letting it get to that certain length, because I feel like if it's only a couple inches long and they're curling, it's like harder to control than when it's real long.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually the longest my beard has ever been. I've always kept mine trimmed short, and I just started last April letting it grow. So, yeah, they say the longer it gets, it adds more weight and it'll help straighten itself out. But I started out when I was about half this long. I started out with a heated brush, and then I went from the heated brush to where it's too long for the heated brush now. But yeah, I use a blow dryer now, and it makes a world of difference. It really does.
Yeah, heat definitely has an effect on the hair like that, and making it cooperate.
Yeah.
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 And I actually have what are considered low porosity hairs. So if they don't open up unless I heat them up, and then they're able to accept the beard products better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, You hit it with the hair dryer then first.
Hair dryer, or most days, just because it's quicker, I use a straightener.
Yep. Just a normal, like normal flat iron straightener, or a beard.
Well, it's actually a beard straightener. The one I use is called a Vicon. It's a cordless straightener. Heats up to whatever temperature basically you want. Goes up to 392 degrees,
Okay.
which is normally plenty.
Awesome.
But there's a lot of people in the beard community who use different brands of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a few questions here, I guess. We actually covered the first one. Uh, and we kind of talked about favorite grooming companies. Um, and of course, I figured one of yours would have been Detroit Grooming, just being local. They're a pretty good company. I have some of their products on my shelf behind me.
Yeah, and the other fun fact is I probably only live about maybe an hour away from Dan C. Um,
Yeah.
he's
Hmm.
just up north a little bit of me, but um, yeah, we were gonna try and get together like pre-pandemic, and then that thing happened, and then I think he had another kid, and
Oh, yeah.
so it goes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know he's talking about having a beard meetup end of March at a Disneyland, Disney World in Florida. Um, I don't know if anyone in the community. Oh, okay, here's a heated brush. Heated brush is good for shorter beards, but a hair dryer better for longer beards. And that makes complete sense.
Yeah, good to know.
Um, Detroit Grooming is a pretty favorite company of mine. I've been using Jay's Beard Essentials out of near Austin, Texas, a lot lately. Um, and then I just got some stuff from Artius Man, which is over in Ohio. Um, Jason, who do you normally use a lot?
I use a lot of Copper Johns.
Yeah, they're good too.
Yeah, I like Tyson stuff, and I mean, there's still a lot of companies I need to try, like Detroit Grooming. I've never tried any of their stuff, but I mean, there's bigger companies, and then there's a lot of smaller batch companies, and yeah, there are a ton out there. I need to try, but it's funny that you said you have caps lock in today because that's actually what I had in as well today. it's it's made by Long Island Beard Co.
Yes.
and it's it's a nice scent, but for me, the feeling beard is great. It's one of the best feeling beards I've had.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is. And I'm afraid I'm going to go through mine pretty quick.
yeah.
Okay, this is a common question in live streams in the bearded community. What do you like on your pizza? And do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Yeah, absolutely. Love the Hawaiian with the ham and pineapple. It's a good way to go.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, I mean, other than that, not terribly picky. Kind of like more the better when it comes to pizza toppings, and there aren't too many I would not like, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's pretty much nothing I don't like on my pizza. When I was in the army, I had a roommate who every Saturday would order a pineapple and jalapeno pizza.
Interesting. Likes
But
it spicy.
yeah, but there's a lot of people in the community who absolutely detest the pineapple.
It is a lot of sweetness for a pizza. I would agree with that. I guess that's why the ham like tries to offset that with the little bit of the saltiness.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, if you've ever had like barbecue chicken pizza, barbecue sauce it's really sugary. I mean, it's
Yeah.
surprisingly sweet. Well, most of them. So, I feel like barbecue chicken pizza is kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Now I've had like buffalo chicken pizza, where it's a little more spicy. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had the barbecue chicken pizza. I also in the 90s when I went through my training in Kentucky, um, we snuck in a delivered pizza from Pizza Hut, and the only sauce they used was barbecue sauce.
Okay,
I thought that was different.
that is different. Yeah, that's different. That might have been a mistake. Right? You got two red tubs in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably a trainee making that one.
Yeah. And we've got a certainly not pineapple. And pineapple and Canadian bacon is great. What is the one food you won't eat?
Wow, that's tough. Like won't eat. I really don't like these like soy food products. Like this like
Yeah.
tofu. I just it's not gonna do it. I won't. I would not eat tofu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll eat a soybean. That's fine. But I think that's the first one that might come to mind.
I couldn't see myself eating a tofu burger. That's not a burger. It's tofu.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just to me it's pointless. Like
Yeah, I can't see that. I actually was against more of the veggie burgers until recently when they started coming out with like impossible burgers. I
yeah,
actually don't think those are too bad.
I have not tried one yet, but I've read a bit about them and it sounds interesting.
Yeah, definitely different. And my girlfriend Becky seconds the tofu, and she really does not care for seafood. But she will go out for a fish fry with me and have like your normal kinds of fish. Um, that's fish fries are kind of a thing here in Wisconsin.
When you deep fry a perch, it's basically a French fry, right?
Yeah, kind of.
It's not that different.
And we got a. You're missing out on mahi mahi tacos. That sounds good.
Yeah, I am not afraid of fish. I don't like shrimp a lot, but
Mm.
I will eat pretty much any fish. Definitely sushi as well.
Shrimp's one of my favorite seafood. I could eat. I mean, so many ways you can prepare it, and but
Yeah.
I've really been enjoying the grilled shrimp lately.
Yeah, I feel like this like small shrimp like in like a pasta is pretty good,
Yeah,
but like just the jumbo shrimp and then the like cocktail sauce is a little I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan of like a shrimp cocktail because I don't like it cold. It's got to be cooked.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, definitely. But I'll get my like California roll and stuff. I don't like them too extravagant, but
The tentacles hanging out all over the plate.
okay. Here's a more difficult one. I better take down the. Would you rather go back to the past and meet your loved ones who passed away, or go to the future to meet your children or grandchildren to be?
hmm,
That's a really interesting question I've never considered, but I think I have an answer. I think I would much rather go back in the past and meet relatives that I never met because I think the prospect of meeting my grandchildren would be far scarier.
I agree. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Like you never know with these kids.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I think I would probably go the same way. Um, I'm kind of a big history buff, and I do a lot of research in the past family line, so I would probably go that way as well.
Have you uncovered any cool findings with your genealogy search?
Just some old pictures of relatives of mine that actually look very similar to me. Um, there was a story about one of my what was it? My great uncle. His wife slept with a farmhand, and supposedly they attempted to murder him. I found that in a newspaper clipping.
Oh yeah, the dirt comes out, you know.
Yeah. E-Rock. Hi. And Ms. Bruce City says go back.
Well, they didn't have beard product back then, right? So,
No, but he did have a pretty epic mustache in the picture.
you know, I think people long ago they did a good job with that stuff.
Yeah, they definitely did, I think.
Probably went to the barber more often.
Yeah. Oops. Would you rather have universal respect or unlimited power?
Wow. Well, I don't think I know what I would do with unlimited power, so I think universal respect I think would be the way to go here. That is something I think we could all use.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think like people's ability to understand other people with different thoughts and feelings in them is I think at an all-time low, and I think I'd like to see that even out a little bit. You know.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I just thought this was an interesting question, given that our channel is called The Bearded Respect.
Yeah. So in keeping with the channel.
Yep. So I would go with respect as well.
Yeah, I think unlimited power could get you in trouble, or it's
Yeah.
just not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Would you rather swim in a pool full of Nutella or a pool full of maple syrup?
That sounds really dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's
I think maple syrup you could float better,
Yeah.
where Nutella could be like quicksand.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Maple syrup, I think you'd have an easier time washing off afterwards, too.
Probably. Yeah. I think it's water soluble. So Nutella, probably not.
And Russ says he would go with syrup as well.
Good choice.
Would you rather labor under a hot sun or extreme cold?
Well, I've done both. I don't know. I guess I'll take the word like labor and apply that to just like any type of sort of work. I really hate if like your hands get cold if you're trying to do something or like put something together. Or if your hands and feet are freezing, I don't know. Then it's just that's miserable. I mean, I've definitely sweat my ass off before, and I feel like that's more manageable. You can wear a hat, you can move slow. I'll go with that. Let's go with the hot sun.
Yeah, I definitely would go with the hot sun. I've tried to work on cars up here when it's cold out, and that's just miserable.
It really is. I don't have a garage. I live in kind of in the city here, So it's, I've tried to do the same, and it's not fun.
Yeah, I can't put a nut and a bolt together with gloves on. So if you can't wear gloves, yeah. And like you said, if it's hot, you just take a little break and get a drink of water and move slower. Yeah. As long as you can stay hydrated, I say hot sun as well.
Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life?
Um, that's a funny question. It really depends on where you live, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you'd go move to Hawaii and you wouldn't need either air conditioning or heating. Um,
Yeah.
I'd give that up. I don't know. I think it'd be. I have too many questions that the internet has to answer. I have too many interests that can only come from the internet. So, yeah, I'd give up a little bit of comfort for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would, but um it's definitely difficult up here without heat.
That's right. Yeah, I am also not in a climate where you could survive very well without heat. So I guess I'd move.
Yeah,
And
yeah. You'd have to have two houses, one to stay in when it's cold and one to stay in when it's hot. So you north and south. But yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a very I don't do well with extreme temperatures of either side, so I would probably give up the internet.
okay, interesting. Russ, for the previous question, he said, try finding a nut you dropped in a 6-foot snowdrift. But this is a guy who lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, now we know why.
Would you rather spend a week in the forest or a night in a real haunted house?
I don't think I would mind doing either, to be honest. Week in the forest sounds like an adventure, and so does the haunted house. So let's just do it.
Yeah, I would actually do either, but I would love the week in the forest probably more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, depending. Hopefully it's somewhere scenic, but
Right.
yeah, I used to do more camping when I was younger, and just haven't really been able to do that in a long time. So
Yeah.
it'd be good.
Yeah, we're hoping to get some in this year. It's been kind of weird since COVID.
Yeah, good time to get outside though, right? Like,
Right. So that is the last of those questions.
All right.
all right.
Um, so we're probably going to try and wrap things up here. Um, just in conclusion, we're looking forward to the Brio products that are coming. It was awesome for you to be able to tell with us and share with us about the new ones, about the head shaver. 3D model looked promising on that. And the new changes for the Beardscape definitely look interesting. And even a hairdryer on the horizon.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me. It's always nice to stop by, creep,
Oh, yeah.
creep around in other people's you know homes or basements, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I've found this educational and entertaining. So, and honestly, I'm fairly new to the community. I've been in it less than a year, so yeah, I'm still learning every day. I'm learning, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. Uh, Definitely got some good information and got some things coming out that I'm going to have to be saving my money for. That's for sure.
Right
But
on. Well, if you guys ever have any questions, you have my email. So happy to answer anything I can for you.
Oh, and you gave some great insight, and it's always good to put a face with the company.
yeah,
And this will be out on YouTube, so if ever anyone wants some information about Brio, it's there.
Awesome.
And any questions can be passed on, and we can reach out and get them answered.
and another thing, affiliate codes work for every product, right? Whether it be the toothbrush or the beard
Correct.
scope or the lady's foot tool.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Everything.
good. I'm, I,
Well, that's
I,
good.
I might be burning Scott's up here pretty soon.
Go right ahead.
Awesome.
It,
Well, thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your evening.
yeah,
Yep.
you too.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks.
Take care.
Yep.
Have a good night. And with that, guys,
Oh, he
we are
left.
gonna call it a night here. Thanks for joining us on
Yeah.
this. It's been a great show and just a great guest. A lot of good information. Just great to see that I'm an affiliate for a great company out there.
Yeah. And Ken was right. He does put his pants on the same as I do. So
He was actually a lot of fun to talk to.
yeah. Yep. Nice young man. I can say young man since he just turned 40.
Yeah, I can get away with that too. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it a night.
Yep.
With that,